September is here.
Oh yeah, that is a thing Twitch does, isn't it?
Is that like sober October? No, is it October they call it?
Yeah.
Where you don't drink for the whole of a month. obviously alcohol, not drinking water or anything would probably kill you. But
Yes,
you have to
stay hydrated, folks. Especially if you're playing our game on pad.
No, you have to get all your sustenance from cacti and aloe vera.
Don't get your succulents from the dancing cacti. Okay, let's hope Maractus didn't hear that. I take it back. I do not endorse any form of cannibalism, okay?
I just put 2 and 2 together.
You came up with 25. Oh no, that's Ragefile that does that.
Yeah, that's Ragefile.
Well, let people get in. Did we add everyone in the server? No. Really, should we? Or should we?
We'll employ to do that, but in this case...
We could at here rather than at everyone.
It's the same.
You sure?
Yeah, it's the same. The only difference is that the here is whoever has permission to view.
I think at here is whoever is online.
Yeah, because we don't want to ping people that are offline, because it's a bit of a douche move, isn't it?
Yeah, then I get the difference.
Yeah, let's go.
In before we get like people going, oh, you woke me up. Oh, no.
Morty! Why'd you wake me up, Morty?
Oh no, here it comes.
Everyone's gonna have a go at us.
Don't they always?
Yeah, well, we always have issues. No one's ever happy.
Nope.
Oh, Twitch now tells me that Team Risu is.
I think the push notification is always a little delayed.
What, by 4 minutes though? That's crazy.
Well, that's why you do the extended intro with NCS playing in the background.
I suppose so. Yeah. Yeah, you always get one that does the.
Yeah, one with the bang. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, let's have a look. What else?
We're doing great.
Yeah, we're doing fine, thank you. We're waiting for people to join. See, they're all like getting angry at us for pinging. It's like, oh, you're part of a dev server, but you don't want to hear anything from our server. Curious. We come only for the dev builds. We do not care about the progress. Only that if the game is better, we are happy.
The waifu got upgraded.
What?
I'm
what now?
pretty sure this is the same waifu from last stream.
Oh, Zeus probably hasn't like been around for a couple of months then.
I
Yeah.
probably need to get on stream so I can see the Twitch chat.
Yeah, she's been she went on a diet and went to Japan and came back and now she looks like that.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, she was MS Paint waifu build. Then you're like 3 months behind, man. They're like, whoo, geez, you've got a lot of stuff to deal with in upgrading. Because when did we last do our dev stream? How long ago was it?
August 10th.
Probably about a month ago.
August 10.
Yeah, it was.
Has it really been 6 weeks?
Yeah, it was more early August to coincide with the new build and the code freeze.
So what was that? 4.8. 4.8?
Yeah, what?
Was that 4.8? Wait up, when was 4.8.2? That
Uh,
was the 19th. You're right, actually. 4.8 was our last dev stream. Holy crap, it's been a while.
4.8.2. Yeah, 4.
No, 4.8.0 was the 13th. Just mute that, but I can hear my
Well, yeah, thankfully what we're going to be showing you today actually does have some noticeable changes that are quite transformative, so...
Yeah, what we're talking about, Zeus, is you're on 5.3, but because we're still in the alpha mode, we're on alpha 4.8. So if we were using proper versioning, it would be 5.3.0 dash alpha 4.8. So that's how, but we don't put the full length. Yeah, the full length for the name of the alpha, because I was just going to use like 5.2.9999 while we were developing this, but to be honest with you, I don't want anyone thinking we're involved with 5.2, because normally that's how we would do it. We would have 5.2.9999 while we do 3. That's how we would, that's how I used to do it at work.
5.2 is a bit tainted. Long story. We'll
a
save
bit
for another day.
A bit, yeah. Anyways, put the game on. So these triangles are annoying me.
I have to restart my computer real quick. Be right back.
Yeah, we'll go right from the triangles that annoy you to the
so you're on
the hexagons that annoy you.
If you're on 1612, that means you're on alpha. Which means you're on our initial release.
Oh.
I appreciate you for supporting that. You're the last person probably still using 2019. Yeah, let's get in this decade. I think we've got enough people to start.
Hey, where did Joust go?
He's rebooting his computer.
Ah.
Oh no, just play some songs while I update people.
That's what I was gonna do.
You are using new font mode, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
So nice. Good. Okay. Well, the biggest update for people that can see the game straight away is we've got rid of all the crappy fonts, and I've built some brand new ones, hence why the font system now looks really sharp. We're now no longer using stuff from 2004 anymore. So we fixed the texture font generator, and as you can see, it's very, very crisp and sharp.
It's got that quality crisp.
Yeah, it's very nice. So that's a big one, but we'll talk about the font system in a minute because there's quite a few languages. And also thanks for the follows, guys. Zeus and Quatamon. Thank you for that. It's very good. We've got it's actually the same as the old font, but it's just we've redone the system because I'll give you a little bit of history about the font then as we're talking about it. So back in the old days when Stepmania was still 3.9 or 3.95 or OpenITG, not NITG, that's slightly different. We had a font generator that created certain texture types for the font glyphs. So the fonts aren't generated from a font like they are on the system. They're actually textures. So every letter, every character you see on Stepmania is actually a texture. Apart from the loading window, that's different. The loading window is new stuff. Ignore the new loading window, not the glyph system. But this that's being played right now, so everything you see there that's text is actually a texture. So it's actually a bitmap that has the image of the font or image of Flawless or... Okay. And back in 2004, the fonts were generated to a set size, set system because of the limitations of OpenGL. So, as we've upgraded the engine, it was a case of there's been people just DMing me going, this specific Korean glyph is missing, or why don't we have the triangle for Japanese in the system? My game is showing question marks, and I've got this really cool new pack that doesn't show any characters, and I'm like, okay then, fine. So we sort of diverted a little bit of resources, and I've fixed the texture font generator to build on 2020, and we've built a more modern version of the texture font generator, which is available for everyone, private to us. It's on our GitHub, and there's a release there if you can't be bothered to faff around with MFC. Just download the executable, and it will generate you the extended glyphs. Not a problem at all. So basically, yeah, I thought, well, let's go full. And Hanubeki, who is a veteran of the original Stepmania repo, helped me work out the code pages for the fonts that we needed to add and what we're missing. So we've added the full Korean glyph set, full Japanese glyph set, and we've added extended Latin supplemental and A and B to the game, which has a plus and a minus, unfortunately, obviously, with fonts. The font system, as you know, loads up every single glyph. Now, we're going to, before we release this alpha, we're going to put in a preference system. So there'll be 2 extra preferences on the experimental window again. I know, more experimental window stuff, but what the problem is unless you're going to be playing the game localized, you're not going to worry about needing all 4,500 Japanese glyphs or all 2,400 Korean glyphs, because you're not playing the game localized. So if you're in the West, you can turn those off because you're not going to ever need them loading. So what we're going to do is we're just going to be loading up an extended set of glyphs. So the symbols, numbers, and the basic, what they call the basic common set, which is about 3,000 glyphs from each language, including Hangul and Hangul symbol, Korean, and we're going to regenerate Chinese as well. So the basic stuff that most people will play with, so common songs, common words. It's because of the way the code was written. Zeus. It was just the way. We're going to change it. I've got a new system in place that will replace this, but first we've got to get this as a patch, because I've got to fix. We've got to rewrite Rage Display. It's not easy. So yeah, moving forward, we decided also to actually set the game fonts to 20 pixel double res, which is what they should have been in 2004, because the system that Stepmania was set up with was a 20 pixel font width. Obviously, I'm prattling a bit here, but I'm just explaining to you the story of what it's for. So we had some fonts that were scaled at 16. So if you had to make those fonts bigger, they would scale from 16 to 24 down to 20, and then back up to whatever you scaled them to. So obviously, they're going to blur. They're going to look like terrible. And then obviously we had Chinese, Japanese, and Korean at 20, which would then go 24 to 20 and then scaled up to whatever you set them to. So most fonts are about 26 to 28 on screen. So Japanese was the one that suffered the most. It's blurry as hell. So now obviously we've started. Now that we've started working on upgrading this, you can actually see it's going to be a lot sharper. Yes. The font system is already in the game, but we've got to basically, for backwards compatibility and the fact that people like playing on old themes, we can't actually. Yeah, we wouldn't be. I don't want to just rip out the support and then leave all the other people with old fonts and sim files and use different systems. So what we'll end up doing is, for Outfox, there'll be a specific font option for them. So if you want to use the new system, you use the new system. Use the old system, use the old system. It's basically, yeah. So it's good. Custom fonts, yeah. You'll be able to basically load fonts in sim files. You'll be able to load just by plopping them into a folder, and they'll be available to the game as long as you obviously tell the game that you want to use that particular font in your system. So that's what we were looking at.
Now, speaking of fonts and sim files, one that comes up a lot in Mr. DatKid's ports because it was the In the Groove 2 font is Eurostyle. Something I also did for Soundwaves on this build was actually I put in a new font generated with the new system. It's similar in appearance, but looks way sharper. As you might have noticed, the BPM text there. And you'll also be able to see it on the results at the end. Oh. Don't mind the horse, this is part of the song.
Only you would care about that. All right, so yeah, that's the logic behind it, as well as we're starting to add support for locales in the game. So we need to obviously have the font support and the string support. So it's a case of moving everything together in the long run. So yeah, it's sort of a bit of a long-winded way of supporting fonts, but that's what's basically happened over the last month. We're in the process of finalizing, because we've had to fix sound waves, obviously, because all the fonts have changed to the new ones. But if you guys want to generate texture fonts and stuff for sim files, the new texture font generator is on our public GitHub. It's for texture font generator 2020-squirrel. It's called. That's what I call it. Just whatever was in the random folder when I push the commit. And there's a release there which already does Euro, Chinese, Korean, and Japanese, and you only need to pick the glyphs that you want to use. So you don't need to load up all 15,000 glyphs or anything like that. If you need to just use a subset, you can use that .ini in your sim file to use the fonts in the game. Okay, it's quite simple, but it's just a case of we've not had a method before to generate fonts easily, because everyone's like, yeah, use the original font generator, which is fine, but it doesn't have any of the extended UTF fonts, and it was using the ASCII and ISO generations from ages ago, so that's all gone now. We no longer use the old code pages as of this month, which is good. Progress is good. I'm just watching. I've seen this one before. Which one's this?
This is Mario 7.
7. I've not seen this one.
I think I still need to fix up some. I need to go back to the old Noirs at some point.
Yeah, I think they need a little bit of a love. I think they were made for 5.1, weren't they?
5.0 actually.
Oh, 5.0, okay. So we've probably got a bit of a grade to wait for. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got like a lot of things I probably need to do with this.
Yeah, that's nice and sharp. I like sharp fonts.
Yeah, it'll basically come up. It's alias to Euro style, so if you have any fonts, any songs that use Euro style, that will come up.
Just sneezing, sorry. Hold on. Oh, worst time to sneeze on. Alright, so yeah, we apologise for it being 6 weeks between streams. We normally try and keep it monthly.
But yeah, scrolling through this folder, you can see that the Japanese text is a lot more uniform in appearance now, size-wise.
Yeah, and it's we don't have any more symbol question marks, do we? It's all yeah, it's all good, I think.
All the characters.
Yeah, well, this is the extended, though, isn't it? So we're gonna have to
Yes.
do a double check. I'll ask a couple of Japanese players, like common and what's like less common. But we'll have the pref in. Alright, so shall we go through what we've done since Alpha 4.8?
Yes.
Yeah, full screen. The new fonts look really nice. As I said, it was worth the time taken. It was a bit of a faff to get texture font generator running on Visual Studio 2019, because I had to edit like 20 of the C files that come with the MFC library. It's all deprecated. It's obsolete. So it was like really a real pain in the butt. But yeah, it worked, and you can generate any texture fonts you like. It's pretty good.
The long song marker isn't new, but there is something new that was added to the MPS gauge, a little indicator to show where the preview is. Like what part of the song it's playing when it's playing the preview, that little white line there.
Anyways, let's move on with.
Go I'll
what we've
fire
been
up
doing.
a mod file that uses that thing.
Feel free, yeah. Right, so let's go through what we've done since the beginning of August.
How
Pretty
the
crazy.
line?
That's a lot.
Yeah, so the last, those of you that are ParaParaParadise players, or P, or ParaPara, or original Tech Para and its many variances, we had finished fixing the labels and rate being incorrect for watching the simulation of that game. So as of 4.8.1, actually, we were the closest we have been ever to matching that game's arcade experience, which has been really, really, really exciting. There's a couple of last bits left to do. We've got the holds that ParaParaParadise Second Mix used to use. We're currently confirming with an arcade owner who's got an original cab that you can pick up a hold, or you can't pick up a hold if you miss it. So we're currently working that one out, but at the minute the game will allow you to pick up a hold if you hit the head, but you move your arm off the sensor and it drops. You can put your arm over the sensor again and it will pick it up again. So there's that. And that's also going to be for pump mode as well, because obviously pump has specific holds that require a different checking system. So that's already in preparation for pump. We fixed the too many file open error on Windows. Basically, that was a sort of an issue with the way that we were caching, and it wasn't closing the file. A little bit silly, cheeky. The new loading window, for those of you who've been in any of our dev streams before, the loading window is new and has the new mascot on it, and just generally looks better. It doesn't stick anymore. It doesn't lock up anymore. And that actually does use the new font system, that one. So you'll see a different font this month because we're applying a font called Cool 2000, which has got like most of the glyphs in that we need, so squares or question marks anymore, garbage. And I've made sure that it loads Unicode. Now there is still an issue with Rage File not loading Unicode correctly. We're in the process of fixing that for Alpha 5. I'm not sure if we're going to squeeze it in for Alpha 4.9, which is in November. We'll see. It's depends on how big a load it is. We're going to force the game now to properly be use Unicode overall, and hopefully that'll fix a lot of these issues that people are getting with like missed fold, all sorts of other horrific crap that's going on with the game. We've also fixed the input system. There's been quite a considerable amount of work done on the input system, so we're not getting hit with the crappy operating system updates that are slowly killing direct input and the old input systems that are OS dependent on 5.1, 5.0. So those of you that are still playing on 5.1, 5.0, you might want to obviously read what the update logs are coming for your operating system, because Windows is killing direct input, and you will notice that 5.1 and 5.0 will lag for no reason at all, and that's because of a direct input emulation system that they added into the Win32 API. Now, because obviously stuff's not been updated for 5.1, 5.0 for some years, and to be honest with you, I'm not going to do that 6 months amount of work again. It was hard enough doing it for Outfox. I'm not going to backport it for 5.1. But yeah, it's a case of Windows is deprecating, making obsolete, making out of date the way that 5.0 and 5.1 and 5.2 look at input. It's the system on Linux is already deprecated, but it's still supported, I believe, until the next iteration of the distro, which should be 2022. So you've got another couple of years yet. But yeah, on Mac and on Linux, not Mac. Sorry, I'm twisting myself. On Mac and Windows, the input systems there are definitely deprecated. Mac, obviously, if you've ever tried running Catalina with anything, you've had to do quite a bit of trickery and faffing around. We are sort of okay with that on Outfox, but yeah, 5.1 is a bit of a mission to get working. What else have we got? Right, so yeah, new MP3 driver. Get rid of libmad altogether, so we now have no drifting, which is not. We don't need to worry about any secondary timers. So we fixed that. MP3 seek, font Unicode, that's fine. Oh yeah, the controller bug that was in earlier versions of Outfox is fixed as well. We now no longer have use given for certain controllers, but definitely try using the HID API, or legacy as we call it, if you have a controller that just doesn't work. What else? STL, yeah, we fixed that bug in Mac. So Mac had a couple of fixes as well. G error after Catalina updated. That one punched us in the face because it came out of nowhere. Released in between two alphas, so there was no way for us to check. It was so frustrating. And then we fixed the sound causing a crash when you changed theme. So those of you obviously that use multiple themes for different modes, that was a bit of a pain in the backside getting crashes. And I will let someone else talk for a little while. Kid, do you want to talk about updates, mods and fixes and stuff?
I haven't been doing much, but I have done a little bit.
There's some. You got to remember, you got to go back to like 2 months, so you have done some bits.
Yeah.
And the line thing.
Well, no, that's kid talk.
I mean, for modifiers themselves, I've been fixing up all the column-specific stuff. So originally, you'd have to like call the function like say 4 times to do something on all the columns. I made it so you could just pass nil for the column, and it'll hit all of them, which makes doing column-specific stuff a lot easier if you need something to hit all of the column. I also fixed up some randomness in the game, because during the switch to more C++17 compliance, we ran into some issues with things like courses that use random entries. So, like in the ITG realm, there's sort of been this course going around called Literally Random. And as the name implies, it's all random. It's random charts that are in your game. That wasn't working, so I managed to fix that. Took a little bit of effort. And another thing I fixed was I found the Vanish Point was wrong for the player, and it's been wrong for about 5 years. So that's better. So now the players actually do things properly when they're moved around. Another stuff I patched up. I fixed up the timing windows for the ITG Advanced and ECFA timing sets, because those had the additive windows built in. I had a slight discussion with Cube and others in the community. But that shouldn't be a problem now, because now Lua Timing can use the timing preferences that are part of the game.
Yeah, you probably should mention as well that we have fixed the weighting. Do you want to talk about that, Kid?
Oh yeah. So for a while, people were noting how the grades didn't match up with the percentage you got. Turns out there was nothing in the metrics for changing that. It's really easy to do. So we got that done. So now the grade should actually correspond to the percentage you get, instead of whatever it was doing before.
Yeah, so it was a case of sometimes your scores will not be what you expect if you've been playing Outfox for a while. That was a mistake from us. So yeah, I'm not gonna beat about the bush or try and smooth it over. We forgot to do it. When we were writing the new theme, it completely slipped our minds that we need to tie those two together. So yeah, at least we fixed it before our That is actually a good question, Matt. We would have to check if it's going to be retroactive on. That's a good question. I don't think it will it? Because save this.
That probably depends on how it calculates the scores.
Well, the thing about scores is that it actually already calculates them. So what it's fetching is already recorded scores are running in the XML.
I could have sworn it like saved all the judgments that you got as well.
Yeah, it does actually. But it also already saved the grade and the dance points that it got. So we could probably recalculate them as a way to cancel out a better score.
Okay. We probably should give them an option to recompile, like if it's a machine or because I know quite a few players have got like quite large song histories, haven't they? So I think we should have an option to compile those scores. We'll have to have a think about that one. Yeah, it's a good question, Matt. That one. Yeah, also, guys, if you have any questions, voice context text channel on our Discord, in the stream chat on Twitch. We're available on both, and I'll do my best to answer the questions if you have any. Yeah, recompiling scores is probably good because we have had an incorrect system for quite some time. So yeah, I appreciate all the frustration with the weird things giving you a B+ when it should have been a D and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you for keeping on at us on that one. As I said, you guys do help this game become a lot better with you talking to us. So it's really good. Right, I will continue back with what we've continued to done. So we've done. Joust has done. Are you here, Joust? Are you going to talk about your fixes for this month?
Man, I've been gone for so long I don't even remember what they all did.
Well, you have Get Kraken.
You got the Kraken, boy.
Let me check Kraken.
Please wait while Jousway puts up the gift.
Release the Get Kraken.
Release.
Well, I'll mention a couple of bits then while Joust is loading. We finally fixed the crash on Bones, which were causing some weird ass crap on loading up stages and the dance mat. We have still no idea why our version of the game is doing that when the code is exactly the same between us and 5.1. We fixed it for now. Joust literally changed a 0 to a -1. But that shouldn't have worked. So we're going to have to double check that what we've done there. I think we've done some math optimization. Piler is decided to go, oh, I'm going to do something that's undefined. So yeah, we've got to double check on that. But it's working for now, so you're not going to get crashes. We fixed up. What else we done? Hold trigger. Oh no, I won't talk about Jose stuff. I have basically helped with the actor system to make it more C++. We have C++17, which we're now on. It's been a slow process. It's getting there. It's just fixing and optimizing things. The problem is with moving to C++17, there's going to be weird things that happen because our code was written in, C and C98 and C++03, give or take. So yeah, there's some craziness going on there. Have you loaded up?
Yeah, I've loaded up.
All right. So what you talked about then?
Well, I made random movies actually random. Because the random movies weren't random. They would just start with the first one and then go on as it would. So I added a random seed, so I would generate the random movies and then use that. So it's actually random now. I also did some delay fixes at the start of FFMPEG. It was wrong, so some videos would start really early and other videos would have a little delay where it would just freeze and then start the video, which wasn't the right way. Let's see. I fixed another part of the random movies where it would, where if you just had one selected, it will always start the same video for the first one in your folder. So now we'll just pick between them randomly. Like I have no idea why they wrote it like that in SM5. It's really silly. I've removed some stuff that was X11 dependency, like we're now EGL supported, right, Squirrel?
Yeah, we are fully EGL supported.
Yeah, VGL supported. There were still some dependencies on X11, so even if you didn't have X11, it would give errors, but that's now gone. For some people that might have noticed, if they used our loading window, it would say it was Win32. We now properly renamed it to SDL, so it's not Win32 anymore. Let's see, what else did I do? And oh yeah, NDS is easy for us to do, and yeah. Oh, I like the commit I did on the bone thing. Scroll, let's change the 0 to a -1. It was pretty funny. Oh yeah, if some people had a beginner helper in sound waves, if you went in beginner helper, it would still display the old beginner helper dancing characters, which was double characters, which was pretty bad. We have a new system that Jose wrote, and it's a lot more better. So the old ones are pretty much gone because it was complete garbage, and it would dance fast. We might add a system so it will become a pref that people can activate it on and off, because with old themes, other themes and stuff, it won't work at this moment. So I'm still gonna work on it. But yeah, we need to update that a lot, because beginner helpers was a bit annoying. I also made it so with beginner helpers, if you have beginner helpers on, it would always disable the background. I made an option, a toggleable option, so you can just say, no, I do want to display background, so you can have the dancing character on the pad, the beginner helper, with a background. And I think that's about it.
Okay, there is this change that I did to one of the note skins, specifically the dance default note skin. Some people, we recently had bug reports basically saying that it was inconsistent with the editor because the default note skin used the in the groove color standards rather than the default like note colors like red, blue, etc. So basically, as you're about to see, I actually changed the colors to match up with the normal note colors rather than the in the groove ones. They honestly actually look pretty nice in this color, so I actually don't mind.
Yeah, the other question is, Lero, why have you not got hide mouse cursor on? Because I can see your cursor.
No, I think that might be... oh.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, the other factor is we also fixed hide mouse cursor, which is because I was just seeing it there. I was like, is that my mouse? And so I moved my mouse, and yeah, we have
my cursor is black and white.
Yeah, we have a pref-in game now that allows you to hide the mouse cursor. Yes, obviously you're going to go, oh, but we could do that in 5.1. Yeah, but 5.1 only on Linux. But on 5.3, you can do it without being borderless full screen. You can do it on the window. You can full screen, exclusive full screen, and it works on every operating system, including the Raspberry Pi. The option is in experimental for now. But yeah, just remember that I know a lot of streamers had raised the point that we couldn't hide the mouse, so Jose and I worked on making that a reality for you. So I know a lot of you will be going into options experimental and definitely changing that to hide the mouse. But yes, it does it. So if the mouse goes over the image window, that works on every factor of every factor. I know you guys have been wanting that for some time, and we had to wait for other things to be in place. Yeah, you're going to need to reboot the game now.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to do.
Yeah, so it needs a game reboot because it's a window setting. But yeah, it's as I said, we do listen to guys, you know what you guys do, and we do actually stealthily watch Twitch streams. So because we like to listen about your complaints and your effing and blinding about how shit our game is. So it's actually quite interesting to watch when you're. And obviously, if you get a bug or something's not right, we can hear quite clearly when people rant about it on Twitch. So it's just something we do to find out if there's any bugs. Yeah, if there's any bugs out there that we don't know about. So yeah, experimental's got quite a few in. Stay there. Look. So go back up to the top of the window so we can go through what the. So obviously, video renderer, glad I opened GL. Those of you on potatoes from before 2003 can see obviously there's no DirectX anymore. We won't be supporting Direct 3D until probably 2022, because I've got to rewrite, well, way too much, and I'm one person. Note field length is just what it says on the tin, normal or long. The AFT notes per second diagram is for the little graph that's displayed on the window. I think it's in game as well, isn't it?
You can.
Yeah, that's one
Pretty sure it's in game.
Yeah. It basically turns that into something. AFT is much faster, isn't it?
It actually is faster and actually allows us to do rendering without the use of a mask, so we can present the entire, like, for example, breakdown of a chart for those who do streams.
Yeah. So those of you that are streamers or care about your details, or set that to on. So sample mode is the how the window, how the music wheel plays the sound of the song. So yeah, that's that. Loops music on select music. So those of you obviously that stream and don't want the same part of the song looped over and over again, that's what that's for. Pretty simple, that one. That's nice and easy. Old joystick mapping. This is the brand new input system. So this is version 4 of our rewrite, 4.5 of our rewrite, give or take. So Outfox is completely X-input compliant, which is required by Microsoft. But this allows it's not really a legacy input mode, but we call it legacy because it's a better name than saying HID. So
it's legacy because it's what we used to use.
No, it's not actually what we used to use. It's like what we used to use because it mimics some of the behavior, but it's not DirectX based.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't use anything to do with DirectX. That's why there's no compile. So it's like what you used to use in 5.1 and 5.0, but it doesn't use the bad libraries that Microsoft are trying to kill. So if you've got like a controller prior to 2010, most of your dance mats, for example, and you know, stuff that I've got from years ago, and if you use SMX pads or LTEC pads, those two pads specifically are better with the HID API mapping on. So you don't need to worry about X input. Some people have said that the old mapping is slightly faster. Not sure. It could be placebo. I'm not sure. It's quite subjective. Show mouse cursor. Again, it's sort of the old version from 5.1, but not for Linux. It's for everything. So if you stream on Windows or you stream on Mac, you now can hide your mouse without having to worry about moving your mouse off screen, which is pretty good. Now, note path width is something that we're playing with at the moment, the next two options. So we noticed that the code for smooth lines in Stepmania 5 is completely broken. And turning smooth lines off was meant to render the note path, which is a line that the arrow follows, basically, in a different method. However, what ended up happening was the smooth lines defaults to something that's from 2001 and CPU based, and grinds your game to a halt. Yeah, it grinds your game to a halt. So what we've done is we've added a new note path system, which can draw different size arrow lines. Lyra will demonstrate this by playing Baby Pink in a second.
Yeah, I was actually playing Baby Pink earlier too.
Shut up! I didn't ask you to change the window, did I?
Sorry.
This guy.
I got ahead if you thought I was about to go to Baby Pink. Sorry.
He's like, kick his ass. And so, what's weird about it is the math that is required to do fat lines means it's a low number, and thin lines is a small number. Hence why it goes down in numbers. It has different behaviors depending on the operating system at the moment, so that's why it's a bit of fun right now. And if you need to turn smooth lines on for this. If you turn smooth lines off, that's the behavior before from turning smooth lines on. So those of you that are going to get confused about this, if you turn smooth lines off, it will exactly behave as it was before. So just turn smooth lines off, and that's the old on. The new smooth lines on is this code. So if you don't want any changes, Go and turn smooth lines off, and you'll have a much better experience. That's just saying that, okay? Now, points and blending, which is the next one down, basically allows for the smoothing and blending of lines and of the circles and things that the game draws for the ultra smooth points and blending. So turn that on. Set NotePath to 150. Lero.
I did.
Now you can go to Baby Pink. So yeah, it just allows for like a customizable NotePath. Now we're looking at making this in the future because obviously having adjustable NotePath sizes is not going to be used often. But you know, it's nice to have a unique SM5 mod for once. You know, that we're not copying from NITG. So yeah, this is one of our first. It's like Mama's first SM5 exclusive mod. It's quite nice.
As a side note, it does affect a bit more than just the NotePath.
Yeah, for now. We will fix that. We still need to fix that, don't we? That's why it's not a mod yet.
We need to sort of just redo how the system draws lines in general.
We do, yeah. So if you turn that on, you need to turn it on and go play. But obviously, if you've got if you've got like the stats on that draw the lines, they're also drawn in the same. What I need to do is I need the NotePath stuff out of the main line drawing code into something that the modder can use, and that's what will happen. So it's a bit of fun right now, but you'll see in a minute there'll be a pink outline behind the arrows that flashes every so often, and it should hopefully.
It happens after the.
There you go.
The first batch of.
Yeah, you can see this effect. So normally that line is incredibly thin when drawn the old method. So it gives us basically an option to have like really cool affected blended arrow path lines, which looks really cool.
It also creates like actually pretty distinct different aesthetic from not having the dots.
What style of mod file chart? You may need to define the style, Pokemon. This is a NITG mod file that that's been ported over by Kid.
Basically, this is done with just Lua.
And then you get the NotePath, the line behind it.
It's loaded through I think it's right now. It's just an SM file.
Yeah, an SM file then. So it's an SM form. Right. Let's go over to Jose for his updates for the month before I continue with what else we've done.
Well, most of the fixes that I have done for this version are more specifically for developers, more to cleaners. Given that there were some requests for some functions to be accessible. For example, there is the addition of a new function for OptionRows that will allow you to change whatever active option is on a current option set. Given that it was requested by I'll give props to Engine for suggesting this, as he has done a preview background loader for the editor, and the only thing that he was missing was the ability to actually select it from the option. So that one is now included. I also changed the method to the model fixes. I also, apart from doing the model fixes and stuff, I also added a bit of TDE and the 12.17 touches in there, at least in a couple places. The judgment scaling has been reworked again, given that it still presented some errors even after fixing it, so that's also dealt with. But speaking of that, the Lua timing modes and all has been tweaked quite a bit, and you'll notice it if you happen to add custom timings on your timing.lua file. For example, you'll notice that you no longer need to add empty timings to your own timing. For example, if you're gonna use Fantastics Until Misses, you usually would have to add the Pro W1 to Pro W5 and just add zeros to that, but not anymore. You actually just need to add that. Now that we have a dynamic system to load all of them based on what you really need. And actually, by doing that, it actually completely eliminated the problem of, for example, having a Pro W1 judgment appear on ITG timings out of nowhere. Given that sometimes people would, hit a note with 0 milliseconds. And that would trigger Pro W1, given the old math problems. Another thing that I have done has been another fix to AMod, specifically for Simple Love users who have given us a lot of reports on the theme. There was a problem with the way that AMod was loaded into it, given that this was actually more like a two-part process thing, one made by Kit and another made by myself, where AMod was not initialized and would crash if some kind of thing would try to get it or like obtain the value of AMod if there was no song loaded. So Kit fixed the initialization process, but that did not fix the bit of checking if the song actually exists, so it wouldn't divide by 0. So that's now fixed. So now Simple Love can run without problems again. Now this is only applied if you actually have a version of Simple Love that has the AMod, which is one guy right now. Given that I only made a version for one person who asked for it. There's that bit too. Also, another fix has been for the GameplaySync option that we have on the input manager. So there was a bug happening on when you try to sync your notes to the audio, which we have a dedicated screen for that. It's on input options, sync gameplay audio, or I think it was sync audio.
Calibrate audio sync.
Calibrate audio sync, thank you. Where it would, for some reason, still load toasties inside of it. And that would cause a kind of collision, because in case you don't know, we have a new toasty system in the engine that is completely Lua based instead of the engine. And what would happen is that if you get 50 combo upwards, or depending on what Lua toasty you
Lero, get 50 combo, just to double check that we...
Yeah, get 50 combo. Why are you exiting? Why are you exiting all the way?
Use the toasties. Use them. No, I need you to do it in screen sync overlay.
Because that's where the problem was.
Yeah, but first let him set out the actual Lua toasties. It's just on the
yes, it's toasty.
Additional option.
Toasty.
We need to make more toasties, don't we?
I'm not sure actually how many people are actually
We need to use the toasties.
So now, for this toasty in particular, you need to get 250 combo.
Oops.
Because the Jousway one, I believe you need to just get 50.
That's a lot of combo.
Yeah, it will be a lot of combo. Yeah, so that's why the Jousway one is a better one for testing, because it's a longer range.
Anyways, yeah. So carry on.
Yeah. So there was a problem with that what I mentioned, which was a collision thing, because what would happen is that the Lua toasty would play itself out, but at the same time, the engine-based toasty would also try to play itself with the same actor type, which would cause a collision because there's which will be the first one to actually perform. And what I ended up doing was basically, don't even bother loading toasties at all with that, because we didn't even use that toasty system anymore, so why even load it? Another thing has been Oh yeah, we made a change to allow Stepmania to do a more proper full screen method rather than relying on arch hooks to perform it, which was really weird. So now we perform the full screen method by our STL little window, and this allows it to do proper full screening on every operating system, including the Mac OS. Right? It was really surprising that it worked the first try. So.
I was actually surprised when you said it worked. Yeah.
Yeah, it just worked the first time. Yeah. So it does work. The only thing that would need to touch up for now would be just getting the scaling code to actually make it proper, because right now it'll try to apply full screen on the same resolution that it's already rendered at. So
yeah, well, the that also goes in line with the new Alt+Enter. We fixed the Alt+Enter shortcuts because lots of people complaining about it as well. Now there's a limitation in the way that the SDL system does full screen. It doesn't scale. So if you have a resolution that isn't supported by your monitor, you will get black borders around the edge of the window. It will still run very nice and very smooth. However, because the old scaling system that was used for 5.1 and 5.0 actually is not good and is actually not compatible with our system, basically just adjust the resolution of your window until which works. Alt+Enter, and you can also exit full screen now with Alt+Enter rather than having a 75% area of your screen being black. Yeah, that was an interesting one. Basically, what was happening was we were enabling the main code to run the old arch hook system to full screen when we didn't actually need to, because our system's way small. And arch hooks was basically not talking to SDL in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, that was why that bug took a while to fix. But it's go on.
Also, for the record, this Toasty was also 250.
Okay, we'll go into screen sync and test if a Toasty loads up. That's all you need to do now. So yeah, there was quite a few bugs still left with Rage Display that we're slowly getting through. It's just we're just a small team. Jose, are you done with your updates? You got any more? Have you got more? Just trying to look now.
Where is he?
Oh no, I think he's okay.
Oh,
pretty much actually all of them. Yeah, I had to go out for a second because I got some gas.
That's fine. Okay, yeah. So release of next alpha, I guess. We're sort of way out of whack on our monthly scheduling. So we're probably going to push. How long do you reckon it'll take to get the rest of Soundwave's fonts fixed?
Actually, most of it is done.
Alright,
Yeah,
what's
and
left?
As I say, how long? I don't care about done. That's not an answer. You'd make a very good politician, Lero.
I'm still trying to get up to 250 combo on this.
Yeah, we're trying to distract Lero
Prove
so he
out.
doesn't. But yeah, so we've got the last parts of the font stuff to fix and a couple of. I think we've redone Euro style as well. Finally
Yeah, I
away from the
showed that
2000.
earlier.
Good.
Yeah, he showed that with the more files.
I've also started adding the beginning of a locale system game. So if you play in a locale that's not English, or you want to play in a locale that obviously is not English, you'll have that option soon. This is primarily for keyboard support. So keyboard players primarily. If you are used to playing with obviously the locale of your keyboard, the game should respect that moving forward. It's only the beginnings of it. It's not in the game yet. I've still got to read how to force our game to support it correctly, because at the minute it's US English only, and we're not even UTF-8, so it's we're not even expanded. So we've added. You've talked about the progress bar. Talked about Latin. I think we're all up to date. We fixed the EGL stuff for Raspberry Pi. I think actually we're almost done. So if you guys have got, appreciate it. Would like to get some questions in before we wrap up. It's been slightly long session. So much in the last 5-6 weeks. It's been pretty crazy. So yeah, we've already talked about beginner helper, arrow path thickness. Oh, Lero fixed the Lambda note skins.
Yeah, they didn't have explosions for the pro judgments, but now they do, as I'm about to show you.
Quantize and trunk F were fixed in the modding system by Kid. That was done. Model casting we fixed. Judgment scaling into smart timing. I forgot you did that as well. That was cool. Some more math fixes. You mentioned pump para hold fixes. Are they already coming with 9 or? They're in the para ones are in the alpha at the moment. For pump alpha 5, because we've got to have a chat with the pump community first on how they're actually implemented. So you can play with them in para. So if you wanna have a bit of fun, convert a pump chart into a para chart because it's 5 key anyway. And yeah, you can have a play with the hold and let me know what you Shrimpo. But yeah, it's basically the same system as if you hit the head, you can then pick the hold up at any time and it ticks. But we've not got combo bonuses to it yet. That's what we need to talk to you guys about for obviously what is supported in pump. There's a lot of stuff coming for pump, but we've got to fix the enum system and the SSC system first. So obviously we honor the work that the Step F2, Step P1 guys did back in 2016. And added, we don't lose all that content basically. The one thing about Outfox project, as you know, is we care about what's been created before us, so we're not going to alienate or eliminate any of the code content where we can. And obviously when people find bugs, they should really talk to us rather than complain about it and then bother. So, but yeah, that's where that's coming from. Yeah, if you want to help us test it, then you're more than welcome to. Any other questions, guys? Come on, there's a few of you still with us after the hour we've been online, so I'm just trying to think.
When will we be able to change the hexagons from the menu?
Alpha 5.
That's a 5 thing, yeah.
You got a few new menu background options for you.
Or you can use that yellow nasty hexagon.
5.0 retro yellow mode thing.
Does it have hexagons?
No, it has checkerboard like the original default.
It's got squares.
So use the 5.0 if you're okay with yellow. When will we be able to change the heck? Oh, I've just read that one.
Yeah, that's what I read.
Pump it up is weird with holds. It's dependent on the song.
Oh, tick counts?
Yes, tick counts we actually can do now, but pump it up is going to be discussed probably at the end of next month. So if you're a pump player, obviously stay tuned. But I would prefer that you guys, it's still got hexagons, but obviously from the main menu.
No, that's checkerboard.
Yeah, but I mean, go into the game, press game start. What's that? That's hexagons, isn't it?
No, that's a checkerboard.
Yeah, but some of them flash to hexagon first. The warning screen had hexagons.
No, that's because of how it's coded. But this is all checkerboards everywhere else.
It's a tradition for all Outfox dev streams to have Moraru played. Obviously, it's got to be done. It's just the way it is.
It's kind of a prove out that we didn't break it.
Yeah, we use a lot of the mod files mainly to with checking math and checking optimizations, because the yeah, Mararu basically, and a lot of the mod files from NRTG that have been ported over stress the hell out the engine, which is great. So then we can check on if we've broken anything. So there's like we've got like 12. Well, I've got 12 personal files that I use whenever I make any of mods that we do, or we have kid check math, we have kid check tweens, and mostly the stuff that mostly breaks are tangent based mods from trigonometry, so it's tangent. So we always fight around with that. And yeah, I saw the questions. Okay, Matt. But yeah, that's where it is. This is with my experience from Pierre. Yeah, so pump it up. You guys need to just remember that we're going to have a new PIU mode, which will be replacing, being alongside old pump mode, because there's a lot of content that's been created for old pump mode, which is not from Step F2 and all of those groups. So there will be a different mode that includes all the new stuff. Right, as for SQLite sit on the roadmap, you're talking about profiles.
You probably have to ask Cube.
Yeah, I have no clue on that one, bud. Cube question. Hopefully soon, because he promised it, and it's yeah. Hopefully soon. Is endless mode working?
No, we're still looking. We're actually still looking into that one, because endless mode, ever since I believe it was broken in SM4 or in SSC, it has been broken ever since. And we're still trying to figure out what is actually the cause of it, because the loading of endless courses is actually still fine. It's more about the fact that it doesn't actually know how to interpret how to insert them into the wheel, or even how to load them.
Okay, yeah, that's still a to-do, Chrissy, that one. Any other questions, guys? While we're here? No? Yes, no. And yeah, we will start actually playing some stuff more on this channel. We shouldn't really just leave it once a month. We do loads of stuff, but it's all in Discord.
He does not like Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I don't like Monster Hunter. Alpha 5 is Alpha 5, so Alpha 5 means it's coming. We're at 4.8 right now, so obviously 5 is later. Wait, what? Extended courses work?
Yeah, because that's just a non-stop. So.
That's a non-stop, isn't it? It's not endless, truly endless.
No, it's not endless. No, that is just non-stop. Yeah.
That's been broken since 3.9, isn't it? Was it working in 9.5? Or if it was, I think it was sketchy.
The endless one?
I think endless mode has been sketchy for quite some.
Yeah, it has been sketchy, but it does work in 3.9.
Yeah.
And even 1.7 if you do the thing to actually open it, because it's not actually like supported.
Yeah.
Because it's not like an actual thing that wasn't built.
That's no problems, Quotemon. Yeah, we normally don't tag, but we thought, well, as it's a big one, we'll tag. So, well, I would say we do 4.86 next week. Are we good for next week?
Yeah, that can work.
What do you think, Jose? Well, we fixed the arrow. We fixed the AVs.
Yeah.
Arrow. So I think we're past the crash. We've just got to make sure, obviously, that we've not broken anything.
Make sure everything's good on that end.
Yeah, and we've got we're just got to make sure that any possible readers we're missing back legacy go to the new fonts. Obviously, to double check, because obviously we don't want to break anything. The old days. I personally like the new sharp and the arrows and stuff work, and it looks really good. But yeah, and the fonts don't overload the system anymore, even though we're loading like 25 times what we did before. But any more questions, I'll and then we'll leave you guys to your evenings. No? Everyone good?
No more questions. I can go and get my team.
Seems like we're good.
I think we're good. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us. I know these can get a bit long-winded showing off things. You know, we could be like Blizzard with like, you do have mobile phones, right?
Oh wait, I have that file.
But yeah, it's just a case of lots of time. We haven't done one in a while. I think, yeah, we should really do probably 2 weekly updates so they're not like really long and elongated. So you guys can like listen to us for half an hour and then watch us play the game for a bit, I guess.
We don't have.
So we'll start doing that moving forward. I know these hour-long missions are quite long for you guys to stay awake with.
Okay,
so I do appreciate you all coming in and asking questions. And if you obviously have got any questions that you I don't even know what this is. I'm actually gobsmacked.
I don't know.
I think I need an adult.
I'm sorry.
I think we all need an adult.
Yeah, so...
Isn't this an Ops file?
Yes. You were talking about the do you have a mobile phone thing. That's actually the preview audio on this one.
Oh, right, okay.
Like,
yeah,
also
so
EA
it's...
AAA.
Well, thanks for
making both Android.
Yeah,
and
I think
iOS.
we all need an adult now.
We don't have any plans at
Oh, wait up, there's a bug.
to do PC.
Look where the line is.
Oh, I'm gonna fix that.
Do you guys not
Huh.
have a phone?
No, look where the preview line is on the bottom of the
Oh, because technically, that part of the song isn't really what's played, isn't it?
Oh, it's out of the final area. Oh, now that's the end of the audio.
On mobile, both
Oh.
Android
Oh,
and
it's lovely.
iOS.
I'm not sure what you
We
can
don't
do
have
about
See,
that.
these meme files are good for finding edge cases in general.
So you can sort of see now why we have these,
Do you guys not have
can't you?
phones? Yeah, you
Because
guys
we
And
find
also
little
because-
things like this,
And also because they kind of lighten up the stream.
and they make us chuckle. Yeah, good. All right, thanks again, guys, and we'll be back hopefully a bit sooner than last time. So take care.
Now just gotta find someone to take you off to. And yes, it will be someone in the Stepmania community, don't worry.
I'd also like to thank our Patreons, obviously, and all the people that beta testing and alpha testing. You can become an alpha tester of the pre-releases by pinging us in the Discord server. So you get to play like the Bleeding Edge builds. So if you're up for that, give us a ping in the Discord server. Okay, take care, guys. We're going to raid somewhere else now, aren't we?
Okay, I heard Fawful was doing a 12-hour stream today. Now let's see what he's up to. He's either gonna be that or Bromid, because he's actually playing. What would you like to see? Stepmania or Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links?
It's all Stepmania, come on.
No, it's all about Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Just Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. Let's just find a randomly. Yeah, let's find Monster Hunter then. Yeah, let's just go to a random game. Yeah.
That's just the Monster Hunter, yeah.
So Stepmania, obviously.
And I'm gonna take you to Bromid. It looks like he's playing mod files again, so
Oh boy.
yeah. Here, have fun, everyone. Good evening. Hey, have a nice rest of your day.